Yeah, hello everyone. This is Talk Nigeria, transmitting live from the YMCA of Lagos, located at 77 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, here in the city of Lagos. My name is Adini Yakindayomi, and this is a special edition dedicated to the 60th anniversary of the National Council of the YMCAs of Nigeria. It's been a long time coming. This is an organization that has transcended history, it has seen life, it has seen the good, the bad, and the ugly part of our national history. Today, we try to look at the historical perspective of our country. Is there a Nigerian dream? What is a Nigerian dream? How was it conceived? What is the content of the Nigerian dream? Our forefathers, at the point of independence, what were they thinking? What hopes did they come up with? That is our conversation today. On set with me, I have my Oga at the top. To my right, Mr. Obadiah Joseph Angie. He is the treasurer, or you call him the money bag, of the National Council of the YMCAs of Nigeria. Do you want to say a word to our audience?
Yeah, it's a pleasure and I'm highly honored. It's a privilege being part of this anniversary conversation. Thank you.
Well, to my left, I have a young man, looks a little like me. He's a member of the board of management of the YMCA of Lagos, and of course, a president of one of our young people's clubs in the YMCA of Lagos. By name is Mr. Adura Gbemi Temitope Onilude. Mr. Adura, a word to our audience.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here. It's nice to see your faces. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Now let's go to the business of the day. Was there ever a Nigerian dream? At the point our fathers agitated for independence from the colonialists, what were they thinking? What was the vision? Did they even think about some of us that will come years after them? Mr. Badaya, you were part of that generation, and you are still part of that generation. What were you thinking in those days?
Are you sure I was part of that generation? I'm only part of the next generation that came after them. That I was actually imagining what was the dream of our forefathers. Are we actually actualizing it? But I don't see us actualizing it. Why? Because a lot of things have happened. And the idea that Nigeria will become one united and visible nation is no longer there because of selfish interest. And you look at everybody being selfish, being sentimental. And the greatest killer of that dream is sentiment. Religious sentiment, ethnic sentiment. Those are the things that have killed this great dream of one Nigeria. And I don't see us actualizing it or achieving it anywhere, except to go back to the drawing board. And it's looking very, very difficult to go back to the drawing board because of selfish interest. I want to stop here.
Thank you very much. You mentioned the drawing board. But as a member of the young people's generation, do you really think there's a drawing board? Or maybe there is a drawing board, but there's no space on the board anymore since we've written everything on the board. What's your thought?
Thank you very much. For me, I think there was a drawing board. I think those who fought for independence had a reason for fighting for it. However, I think considering our historical backgrounds where we had military regime coming in at intervals, I think those things has disrupted that plan for Nigeria. I feel that we also understand how we started and how we should now move from where we started from. I think that's the problem we are facing.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Now, how we started and where we're coming from. Now, I think that's directly to you. How did we start? Where are we coming from?
Yeah, where we started from is first the amalgamation of the northern and the southern protectorate. And I don't think there was a deep agreement to come together to be one united nation. But the colonialists actually made that compulsory without necessarily taking into cognizance what are the feelings of ethnic nationalities that were around in those days or those years. If they have taken that into cognizance, and then people were willing and able to come together on their own without being forced to, I think it would have been a better thing. And then when they actually brought us, they make it in such a way that some other people are higher than others. What do I mean? If you look at what they gave to the North, was greater than what the South got in terms of leadership. And that is why you see the domineering nature or culture of leadership in Nigeria is one-sided.
Now that you mentioned the 1914 amalgamation, now that is taking me to the next question. Now, that amalgamation seemed to be a marriage of inconvenience. And I'm so glad that the design of today's discussants, we have one person from the northern part of the country and the other person from the southern part of the country. So we have the amalgamation right here in the studio. So, Mr. Adura, the future they say belongs to the young people. Do you see that marriage as a marriage of strange bedfellows? Do you see Nigeria thriving with that marriage, moving into your own future?
All right. For me, I think looking at Nigeria and the way it's structured, and as a young person, I feel that we still struggle to even give young people the chance to even take up roles in our country. And then when you check how we started from, we had young people, those Buhari as at then was a military head of state as at those times, and he was a young person those years. But then we've moved from having to move power amongst a few people and not letting other people have the chance to also share their thoughts and move this country to more than the way it is at the moment. So I feel that we should give young people the chance to also display what they have got in them. We have young people doing well in Nigeria, doing well outside Nigeria, and I feel that young people can do better than what we are seeing at the moment in the country.
Young people can do better than what we are seeing at the moment in this country. If men will no longer go to the churches and the chapel, if the churches and the chapel will no longer feed our soul, there must be somewhere else. Those were the words of Sir George Williams. The YMCA Nigeria is 60 years old today. Are the souls of men being fed by the YMCA?
That's a very serious and critical question to ask at this material time. YMCA of Nigeria in particular today is 60 years, and we're celebrating the 60th anniversary of the existence of YMCA in Nigeria. Beyond what happened over 177 years ago when Sir George Williams came about with the vision and the dream of a YMCA like this. The actual soul feeding, or why the souls are not being fed today, is because we have gone out of the real plan or the vision which Sir George Williams brought into, and had that vision or dream of establishing an organization called the YMCA. Today, what is in play, or what is happening, is that we have young and old people scrambling for leadership in the YMCA, particularly in Nigeria. And that is why the souls of men are not truly being fed. Spiritually, let me say, spiritually, souls of men are not being fed as it should be. Not that it's completely out. I know that in some local YMCAs, you still see where there are Bible studies and souls are being fed spiritually, while there are other physical activities that also keep the soul and the body alive. The souls of men ought to be fed beyond what is being done at the moment. And again, I want to say that we must go back to the drawing board, where individuals will bury their pride, they'll bury their differences, and then look at everyone as one in Christ. Then we'll be able to come and be united as one force, as one body, just like Jesus prayed. And it is the motto of the YMCA, as Sir George Williams prayed, that they may be one. Except to get to that point, souls of men are not being fed properly as it should be.
Souls of men are not being fed properly as it should be. As a young person in the YMCA, what do you think the YMCA should be doing moving into the future, 60 years after?
Yes, as a young person, Obviously, you know that the YMCA was founded for empower young people, and I feel that we should not move out of that line. I think for a while we've been not really been doing so much to how we started from, which is to empower young people. So I feel that moving forward from now, we should put our energy, our focus on empowering young people. Let's get them do so much in different spaces across the country, from politics to entertainment, whatever they might find their hands doing. I feel that we should get them empowered the way they should be. I think going forward, that should be our energy, that should be our focus as the YMCA.
That should be our focus moving forward as a people of the YMCA. The National Treasurer, I will need you to leave our audience with one last word as we continue this celebration and look forward to the future.
That they all may be one. That is the general call. Let's forget about the past and let's move into the future with one voice, as a one people, as one united force. Then we'll be able to speak to the world and the world will listen to us.
Thank you very much. The world will listen to us. Mr. Adura, let's look forward to the future. One word for our audience as this celebration continues.
Yes, I'd like to say that as a Nigerian people, that we need to come together. Let's live as one. Let's leave our differences, our ethnic differences, cultural differences. Let's see ourselves as Nigerians, not as Igbo, Yoruba, or Hausa, because with that uniqueness, we can really bring a voice that will change our country and also change the world in general. So look forward to seeing us move as a country, move as one people, and for sure we'll get there and do better.
Yes, please.
Permit me to congratulate Nigerian at this point by congratulating us for attaining 60th anniversary and celebrating it even today. The church service will begin in the next few minutes, and then we want to go and thank God for how He's been faithful to us as a YMCA all these years. And then I want to say that there is hope. There is hope for the Nigerian YMCA. With what I've seen, or with the zeal that I've seen in the minds and the hearts of our leaders of today in the YMCA, there is hope. And I want us to always be hopeful and prayerful for the YMCA. I want to say a very big congratulations to YMCAs of Nigeria.
There is hope. Indeed, there is hope in the studio. It's been great doing this. We believe strongly that the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. That is why the YMCA Nigeria is 60 years old, and we are not tired. The YMCA of Lagos is 78. The global movement is 178. So we know that the YMCA movement is not a stranger to the world. We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly times of global history, and we are still waxing strong. On behalf of everyone in the studio, Mr. Adura Bimbenide, thank you very much for coming. My Oga at the top, the national money bag, Mr. Badaya Joseph Anji, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for making the journey all the way to Lagos. At the back end of the studio, we indeed have Hope, Mr. Hope Akudike. Thank you for holding things down at the back end. Mr. Bernard Akachia, thank you very, very much for your time. I thank all of our friends and guests from the north, from the east, from the west, and from outside of the country. It's celebration time, and of course, we are not tired. Thank you very much for your time, and we hope to do this again some other time in the nearest future. My name is Adeni Olufemi Akindayomi, saying bye-bye and keep celebrating. Thank you.